Caregiving. So in an op-ed for USA Today, actor Rob Lowe, he opens up about the stress of being a caregiver. A lot of people don't know this, but when he was in his 30s, he and his brothers cared for their mom when she was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. So he talked about the stress of caregiving. You know, it costs a lot, the toll it takes on you physically, financially. And he talks about the fact that if you know someone who is a caregiver, just to reach out and give them a call. And I didn't realize that a quarter of caregivers are millennials. I think there's some 40 million Americans are caregivers, but a quarter of them being millennials means they sacrifice a lot, probably maybe their careers, and who wouldn't, I guess, but to take care of parents.
You did this, Carson.
I think it's a great thing that Rob is shining a light on this. We should probably do a little bit more. We've all done it. I know you've done it as well. Yeah, my father was diagnosed with kind of end-stage cancer there at the end, and I probably did it for about 6 months. I drove him to chemotherapy for an hour every day. You're there all day, every day. Of course you do it. Because you're their family. You just do it. But so many, like you said, 40 million Americans are doing this all day, every day, sacrificing their own, their own
well-being.
Listen, I had to. My mom was out at Long Island Jewish North Shore, and for 2 months, my brother and I kept driving back and forth. I gained 40 pounds. It was one of those things, the stress, and I did not share it with anybody. And it took a toll.
I didn't either. I never even thought about it.
It took a toll. Well, I did, and it took a toll on our marriage and being with the kids. And what Rob Lowe is doing is I think, really shining a light on it and helping people, because you don't want to complain. You don't want it's tough. It's really tough.
Many topics, but I think all the takeaways this morning, like being grateful, your health, calling people who, need you to reach out and say something.
My mother, I saw up close, my grandmother, double amputee, diabetes, and the physical toll that it took on my mother. She was my grandmother's primary caregiver, years, and financially as well. That's not that's something else that folks don't talk about.
My mom was taking care of my dad, and I'm convinced it was that caregiving that actually took her life, honestly, because she was otherwise perfectly healthy. And she started, it was so stressful for her. She'd already lost my original biological father to cancer when I was young, and she'd always said growing up, she's like, I could never go through this again. And then all of a sudden she had to go through it again. And I'm talking, she moved her bedroom to be next to my dad, helped him every meal, every get up, and she died in the middle of the night helping my dad, getting him on the toilet in the middle of the night, and had a massive heart attack. And that took us by, and that was literally, we think, the stress from caregiving. That's how it can take its toll.
Well, I'll tell you what, so during